Recording button.
Hi, hello guys. This is Tim Johnson again, and in this video podcast today, I'd like to focus on the vibrato movement on the saxophone. I know many of you who probably have seen me do it when I play all of the saxophone versions of songs that we all know and love from the 90s and current, have probably heard me do it before. But what I never really explained to those of you who've never heard of it, who don't know what it is, and who are new to it, especially to those of you that are new saxophonists that are just starting out, like I was in the beginning. First, let's get into how. First, let's get into how you develop this skill. First of all, first things first. When you are just starting out, getting your saxophone out of the box for the first time, this ability that you have will not show up when you first get started. This is a movement that starts later on in your progressive stage of your saxophone development. So as you progress on the saxophone and get better, and as you practice more, this movement will develop very quickly. I know. When I first got my saxophone, I didn't start this movement until my lip muscles got used to putting to being up against the reed for a long time. So this movement, for some of you, may take a bit longer to develop, and this ability may take you a bit shorter. I know for me, it only took me 5 months to develop this ability to enhance my saxophone sound. Where when you hear that type of sound, the vibrato movement, when you hear that type of sound, it is basically an expression type of sound. Because after all, the saxophone is a very expressive instrument that allows you to make yourself sound like you really, really care about the person that you are friends with, and that you are really, and that you have a bond with, or somebody that you are taking care of in your life, whether it's family or in any type of situation. So what this is, it's a movement that gradually starts with you enhancing your sound, sort of like how you do it with your voice. That type of thing that you do with your voice. Except when you do it on the saxophone, you use your diaphragm muscles alongside your voice box to make that sound. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how it's done. I'm going to play a note for you, and then I'm going to play the song that we all remember as kids growing up. I wish I knew what the song was, but I definitely remember it when I was growing up. I know how it goes, but I don't remember what the song is as far as what it's called. So if anybody can comment and let me know what that song is, go ahead and let me know. But I definitely know how it goes. And we're going to do that today. And that way I can help one of you guys along as far as getting started and how to develop that enhanced saxophone sound that everybody will love, as far as really enhancing your sound, to make it sound not just expressive, but also to make it sound beautiful, as far as people really enjoying hearing you when you sing into your saxophone, when you play. So I'm going to show you how it's done here. I'm just going to verify how I'm just going to check to see how my reed's doing, and the reed's doing good. I'm just going to get it slightly wet by putting my tongue on it. Okay. All right, there we go. We got it nice and moist. That way, so it doesn't lose its tone. And the cool thing is, you don't have to remove it from the mouthpiece to keep it moist. I found out recently, and I'm really happy to hear that. Okay. Well, let's get started. I'm going to play note C sharp, and I'm going to show you this movement here. Here we go. And again, and when you hear that sound, think of it as a very expressive way of showing your emotions to people. That you're really happy about something and that you really care about the person's well-being and health, along with other things. Now I'm going to play for you Happy Birthday, and then I'm going to play you the song that we all remember growing up, because we really don't hear it much anymore, but I'll play it for you. And here we go. Starting off with Happy Birthday. And we're going to do Happy Birthday using that same movement, using the vibrato movement. Here we go. Okay, that was Happy Birthday using the vibrato movement. And that's done not just with your diaphragm muscles, but also with your voice box as well. That's done with your voice box along with your throat muscles. So now we're going to do that song that I remember. That I remember growing up, and I'm sure some of you can recognize it. Here we go.
User is
Okay, that was, I really don't remember what that song is, but I've heard it many, many, many times growing up. Many times, and I'm sure most of you have heard it as well. So, and I'll play it for you one more time, just so that I can bring back the wonderful memories of that song, and that way you guys will recognize it again. One more time, and we're going to do the vibrato movement again. Okay, well, that was a classic one, and I'm sure that most of you remember Father Abraham as kids. Well, that's not the song title, but I'm sure that you remember the song growing up that we sang together in Sunday school, that most of us did, Father Abraham. And I did that one, if you happen to watch this video too, by the way, I did that one using the regular movement, but not the vibrato movement. But we're going to do this version using the vibrato movement. And here we go. We're going to use the exact same notes, but only this time it'll be the vibrato version of Father Abraham. Here we go. Whoops, try that again. Shoot, sorry. Here we go. that was an entirely different set of notes that I was doing. Sorry if I goofed up the first time. I haven't played that song in a while, but once I remembered it more in my head a little bit, and once I heard it enough times to remember it, using those notes, then I was able to kind of think, oh, okay, that's how you do it with those notes. Well, that's the vibrato movement. It's the vibrato version of that song. And that's all done using your voice box and your throat muscles to really get that perfect, sweet, loving sound that people love to hear out of you. Because people will also love that wonderful sound that you do with your saxophone to make it sound not only beautiful, but also really sweet and really joyful too. Because it's a way of showing people that you really care about them. And I know that this movement doesn't happen overnight because you have to practice it. But once you do it, and once you do it enough times, it becomes natural for you. I don't know of anybody who has struggled to not do this movement well, but I'm sure that there has been some people that have had struggles with trying to do that movement. But it's a very easy movement once you practice it enough times, once you get the full benefit of learning how to do it, learning how it's done, learning what muscles to use in your voice box and throat and diaphragm. And once you practice this enough times, and once you really get it down well, it's something that always stays with you, and you never forget it. So I hope you enjoyed this little podcast here about what the vibrato movement is, and I hope you can really. I hope that you really are going to take the time to enhance your saxophone sound as a new beginner. So I think once you take the time to really get to know your saxophone and really study it and really know what it offers you, and really practice with getting all this down, you'll be an excellent saxophonist when you go out there to play for people. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Anyways, well, and we'll talk again soon.
QuickTime Player, movie recording window, stop recording button.